Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come on and sit on down because today we're talking about the wealthy, baby. But here's the thing. They're hiding in plain sight. You ever see a beautiful woman, but it looks like she's dressed like a Native American woman? Oh. You ever see a poor kid on the streets of Portland walking around with the newest and latest tech, yet he looks like a poor piece of shit? Well, you, my friends, might have come in contact with a Trustafarian. Ah, Trustafarians. A beautiful new slang that's come up. Trustafarians is one of my new favorite things to happen online right now. But you're probably thinking to yourself, now Hunter, what exactly is a Trustafarian? Well, let me tell you. A Trustafarian is a wealthy young person who adopts an alternative lifestyle incorporating elements from non-Western cultures. You ever see a bunch of white bitches walking around with headdresses or some shit? Yeah, Nick has. He's like, oh, baby, the dating apps are full of them. It's basically rich kids cosplaying as poor, you know what I mean? Van life. They only walk with their bare feet. You know what I'm talking about? It's just the little things that build up. Which, you know, you've probably seen this little hippie duo dancing around that people make a lot of funny memes on. Me and my friends pretend to be poor to go to Coachella. These people have wealthy parents or some kind of wealthy support system that is funding their, you know, holistic, down-to-earth lifestyle because they're so hip. But really, there's no repercussions because they know they got mommy or daddy's bank account to back them up. They don't need to worry about stable jobs, which means they have all the time and money in the world to travel and meditate and work on their art, all while giving you advice from the comfort of their tricked out, expensive van. It's always very convenient for people to talk about how easy their life is without being off the grid. I get to meditate and I don't have to work a stable job. I just have my van. Also, my dad has extremely deep pockets with BlackRock. Why go to the CEO's BlackRock's house for Thanksgiving dinner? It doesn't matter. Let me tell you, how can you get in with your inner chakra? Says Becky from Los Angeles, California. How do I get into my chakra? Can someone help me access that, please? These people have adopted counterculture as their identity, defined by hedonism and the lack of structure or drive. Oh, essentially what I'm saying is they're modern day hippies. Oh. No one likes hippies, dude. I don't think hippies like hippies, honestly. It's completely defined by drug use or asocial behaviors and privilege. Which every time I hear the word fucking privilege now, I want to take these long-ass gross fingernails of mine and drive them into my fucking eye sockets and pull them out. It's the only real word that defines the idea of like the kind of power that they actually have. Then they're trying to be like, it's all, look at, I mean, come on, man, whenever. Dad, can you deposit $40,000 in my bank account? Thank you. Who is this? This also translates very well into voluntourism. Another quirky little saying, which is wealthy kids volunteering abroad. Using the aspect of volunteering at various places across the world, it's like vacationing and patting yourself on the back, which is pretty funny. It's sold to wealthy kids as an opportunity to change the world and discover yourself all at the same time. You get to clean up something and you get to find out a better person for yourself, right? It doesn't sound too bad on paper, but then you kind of like look into it and the opportunities are all manufactured situations of poverty and need, advertised to wealthy Western kids as opportunities for growth and appeal in college admission projects. So literally, it's all fabricated, like fucking Westworld or something like that. All for kids to be like, God, I'm such a good person as they fly back on their private jet. It just looks good on paper for like Harvard applications or other kind of like elite school applications. It's all bullshit. Today's video is sponsored by our partners at Factor. Are you looking to eat healthier but don't have the time? Well, Factor is here for you. Factor subscription service that brings nutritious meals to your door. All you need is 2 minutes to heat, eat, and enjoy. Factor has been my go-to dinner when I'm working at the studio. I like it because the food is restaurant quality, but it's quick and easy to clean up. Plus, Factor is flexible, so I can adjust my order size as I need to, without any hassle. And with over 35 meals to choose from each week and specialty options like keto, calorie smart, and vegan, you're sure to find a dish that works for you. During the week, it's hard to keep up with everything, so skip the grocery store line, the prep work, and cooking fatigue, and get Factor. Head to Factor75.com or click the link below and use code PAPAMEAT50 to get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month's orders. That's code PAPAMEAT50 at Factor75.com to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month of orders. Thank you so much, Factor, for sponsoring this video. And back to the video. The work is fake, the situations are manufactured, and the expenses to the travelers are these kids. They're big, a lot. I mean, talking about like spending $6,000 to go help somebody volunteer, spending an extreme amount of money to pretend to go cosplay as a good person. When I say it like that, it's really funny. It's really funny, but at the same time, so up. And the profits and money generated to help the poverty-stricken situations they're in are rarely, if ever, given to the actual cause that they're helping. Which is a lot of charities, but still, it's just voluntourism. It feels like other areas too where people get to go on social media and be like, we're actually going to clean up this river and do this kind of thing. We're gonna go here to help. Which there's a little meme here that I thought was pretty funny. It's the Rich Suburban Kid Spiritual Transformation Starter Pack. I know some people like this, which is rich kid, smokes a lot of pot, comes from a really good family, becomes woke, quits job, still rich. Just want to put that, still rich, grows a man bun. This is the real essential starter. When the man bun kicks in, I need a man bun, man. As soon as I have a fucking man bun, we're starting a cult in this bitch. You hear me?
Meat cult?
Money. Money, 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 money. Takes year-long vacation to India, becomes Buddhist, tells everyone on Facebook how he doesn't believe in possessions on his iPhone, runs out of money, moves back home, continues to make posts about awareness. This cycle is cyclical. Sometimes you move back home and it all starts again. Smoke the pot, go, you know, it all happens. Maybe at some point when he turns Buddhist, he cuts off the man bun, regrows it, then goes back to India. There are some people we wanted to talk about in this. There are the cornerstones of the Mount Rushmore of Trustafarians, which first off, we'll start off with probably the head eagle, the head shaman of it all, which is Shannon Blake. You've probably seen, oh, this beautiful woman pop up on your time. Oh, Shannon Blake. Oh, I tell you what, no wonder. Well, looking up Shannon Blake tickets on Ticketmaster, no wonder those motherfuckers are sold out. Looking how she dresses on stage, god damn. Hey, my ass became a whole lot more spiritual after looking up some Shannon Blake songs, god damn. And it's after she had a child, which, listen up, ladies, there's really no excuse. Show the picture of Shannon Blake, there's no excuse that you fucking have a kid, you can't have a body like that. And I'll stand by that. Not a single stretch mark. How's that possible, Nick?
Cocoa butter.
Cocoa butter, holistic teachings. Which is like, I smoked the ayahuasca with the shaman. I don't know, it doesn't matter. But Shannon Blake is a shining example of true Trustafarianism culture, adopting bits and pieces of third world countries as their persona, mixing it together into an amalgamation of neo, folk, urban, bardic, LSD, kratom fever. Apparently it's ayahuasca. What the fuck is ayahuasca, actually?
It's a plant.
Is it just some other drug shit?
The shaman thing that will fucking destroy your mind.
You smoke ayahuasca to get the demons out of your head, but really it's just the fucking key that unlocks the door for them to come in.
It's actually a drink. You like drink it?
Oh, it's a drink.
I think so. Yeah.
Ayahuasca, dude. When are we gonna get some ayahuasca? Where's my chug jug? Need to get some ayahuasca chug jug. She's described as an e-girl conspiracy theorist. Her songs on TikTok have gone viral. This is the one that blew up and has hate baited everyone. Do you think this is for hate bait? She's like I think that she believes it.
It's genuine.
We probably can't play the song, but we can at least have the lyrics up here. God, Shannon, what I wouldn't give to just be in that car with you. That Holy Mountain white hat, though, is pretty crazy.
What's crazy is people love her music.
The biggest part of that, she's talking about using pyramids for time traveling. Yeah, you know what? So what? Shannon Blake likes to time travel with the fucking pyramids, dude. You know what? Have you drank the ayahuasca with the shamans in Peru?
I'm going to with her.
I'm going to in my dreams with her. This is me astral projecting myself front row at one of her concerts. Oh, dude, do your thing. Woo! I'm actually getting too sucked in. I'm feeling too much of the vibe, dude. She refers to her followers as little shroomies. She's a role model for countless wealthy kids who idolize her lifestyle. People, especially on Reddit and other places, are very quick to go to Shannon Blake and say that her parents are wealthy and that she comes from a place of privilege. How dare you, Shannon Blake? But actually, on contrary, that's not true. She made a post that said that, for the people in the back, I'm Native American and Hispanic and Irish. What a crazy mix. Just a dash of Irish on top of that. I grew up in a family that speaks a fluent Spanish, visiting my relatives in Mexico, often eating homemade tacos. Why is that relevant? You know your back's against the wall when you're just like, I'm a Hispanic and I eat homemade tacos, okay? No, okay, we went to Taco Bell once or twice, but it was just because it was around the corner. God. I grew up doing plant medicine, burning sage, doing sweat lodges and teepees, and connecting with my ancestors as part of my culture. My great-great-grandfather was a famous Cherokee chief, so please stop telling me what their race is and what they can't do. You are unaware, that's offensive. If someone has light skin, blah, blah, blah. Being rude and disrespectful is offensive when you say those hateful things to other people. You know what? F***ing true. To give her credit, I want to say that I don't think that she's a rich kid. I will give Shannon Blake my undivided attention. I will. She's the perfect thing to actually inspire Trustafarians. She's up there. She's a tender, beautiful soul. She just uses kind of like a buzzword salad mix of it, and it's all kind of the same kind of stuff, whatever. But, you know, she's doing her own thing, but that doesn't stop the fact that, you know what, she's the staple for what Trustafarians aim to be. With over 1.1 million followers on Instagram, Shannon Blake calls herself an affirmation musician full of vibes, positivity, and for only $12.50 a month, you can see her boobies. Should we say that? She does have an OnlyFans, so I bet she's doing pretty f***ing good. Star from the bottom, now we're here. Not Drake, though, because the security guard got shot or something. I would hate to be Drake right now. Who the fuck am I kidding? I would love to be Drake right now. Are you kidding me?
Well, he's being called out as a
Maybe I wouldn't like to be called Drake then right now. Her OnlyFans says get an uncensored look into her life, foot emoji, barefoot dancing naked in nature, yoga, hula hooping, and playing outdoors in the ocean, waterfalls, hot springs, mountains. So we got like $12.50 to spare, don't we?
Yeah, that's in the budget.
So that's a business expense, I'm pretty sure. Can we get the accountant on the phone? Can we just do just as an expense business? Okay, we can. Okay, cool. Which her aesthetic, I will say, it's drawn from several cultures like India, you know, island culture, Hawaii, Native American, you know, Druid kind of thing. Let's take a look in her home. Shannon Blake's house tour. Lake Tahoe. Oh, dude, living off Lake Tahoe? No one do that. OnlyFans. We gotta start an OnlyFans soon, dude. Something. How much money do you think realistically we could make?
Probably a lot.
Let me just say, do you think I can make at least $1 million?
Oh.
OnlyFans?
I don't know about that.
If you want to fucking put me down, feel free to put me down, but why don't you set me down gently next time, you son of a bitch? Sharon Blake's in Lake Tahoe! It's a fucking awesome house. Lake Tahoe? It's gonna be fucking beautiful. Good genetics, man. That's all you need. Good genetics. We got didn't we? Hey, you're a good looking guy. I got my dog mother and my bullfrog dad. Which these are some other cosplayers who kind of go in this way, which is Connor Sullivan. He shows himself traveling around impoverished areas of India, despite the fact that he's obviously got a good personal guard and private transportation. His entire journey is just sightseeing the poor. And Drew Binsky, who talks about how he got diarrhea from eating Indian food and, you know, doing that, and how Indian people thought he looked funny because he's different. Drew Binsky, the naked guru. Expat moved to Thailand, talks about why everyone is leaving. Lost LeBlanc, one of many YouTubers who travel around the world and show off all the fun things they can do for cheap. Dollar dinners and dangerous backpacking, baby. Yeah! Get the f out of my way, poor person. Get her! Backpacking bananas! Solo woman traveling through Istanbul, Turkey. She's really, really brave. Very brave. She knows no Turkish. She goes through her budget here.
In 30 days, I spent 21,000 Turkish lira. I paid 850 lira for the tandem skydive. I did 2 fun dives and this cost 500 lira. 600 lira on my very first hotel, and this room was 834 lira per night.
People ask, why do they do this? Why go through the struggle of all this, right? One, the spiritual journey. You gotta get connected with your chakra, with God, the universe, right? Which volunteerism, for only $3,000 you can volunteer at an orphanage, teach English, and help build a school, all while being entertained by locals, going on safaris, and enjoying local culture. Doesn't sound too bad. According to the NPR, the youth travel industry is booming and currently valued at an estimated $173 billion.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. Which it usually results in something like this. Okay, well, why does the beat actually kind of hit so hard, though? Am here dancing. That is really Pog, and I do like that. So she just go around teaching people dances in impoverished countries? They're like, that was so fun. She's like, don't touch me! After the shoot, has hand sanitizer.
At least these kids are making money through TikTok, right?
Oh, sure. I'm sure she's definitely sharing her wealth from TikTok to those people. Building a library! One of the tasks is building sites for betterment and enrichment. Oftentimes, these sites have rich Western kids acting on sites where their construction work is so poor that the actual laborers come in at the end of the day to redo everything they did. The act of building is purely superficial. They're doing nothing better to help the kids. I tell you what, we're really railing into these motherfuckers, aren't we? Taken from Pippa Biddle's blog about her experience. Our mission while at the orphanage was to build a library. Turns out that we, a group of highly educated private boarding school students, were so bad at the most basic construction work that each night the men had to take down the structurally unsound bricks we had laid and rebuild the structure so that when we woke up in the morning, we would be unaware of our failure. It is likely that this was a daily ritual. Us mixing cement and laying bricks for 6+ hours, them undoing our work after the sunset, relaying the bricks, and then acting as if nothing had happened so the cycle could continue. That is unbelievable. And a lot of the things that are donated, like bundles of goods, are often sold or given away to friends and family of managers, because if the kids have nice bedding and toys, then nobody will want to actually give them anything. So they actually just take the good shit, like, I don't know, like a fucking Turbo Man action figure, and they're like, get that out of here. We actually need other shit. In countries like Uganda, thriving textile and clothing markets were driven out of business, putting entire towns and families into poverty. Textile factories were shuttered and no work has to be done. Farms for cotton were closed down, factories for dye and weaving were halted, and design and sewing industries destroyed. Donated clothing is received, repackaged, and resold so far cheaper that it can be made. 81% of all clothing sales are secondhand. So all the shit that people donate, they just package up and resell, and it takes all of their actual manufacturing projects and completely destroys them, because you have people coming in being like, a Supreme shirt! Yes! Oh my god, Nike Air Maxes! Yes! So they just immediately take them and sell them to somebody else. Many East African countries have actually banned the secondhand clothing. I can see that. Volunteerists were given extravagant meals while the kids, who were made to eat separately, ate beans. The interactions between the Trustafarians and the kids in the orphanage lead to the Americans often giving them very bad social advice regarding sexuality and lifestyle that could have put them in great danger. Oftentimes, money that is donated for medical care never actually ends up going to the medical care. And the kids in these orphanages aren't even orphans. They're undocumented, anonymous, and abandoned or kidnapped for the process, often connected to sex trafficking. Do you feel good? Do you feel happy about these manufactured events that rich people are gonna be like, oh, you're an orphan! And the kid's just like, get me the f out of here, please. The entire process creates an industry that does more harm than good. Feels good being a Westerner sometime. I tell you what. Their emotional savior complexes are driving out industry, reducing independence, and causing hostile markets. Which sometimes, too, it's the journey of experience. The ability to forever say, you know, when I was 20, I went to Africa and I gave a guy a Supreme shirt, and we did TikTok dances all day. It was such a riot. Wonder what he's doing now. The India gap year, part of the allure of the cheap lifestyle and relative extravagance, is easily achievable in India. It creates a fantasy that can be lived. A popular idea among young Westerners or upper middle class income is that they can take a gap year between high school and college, or even during college, to achieve self-discovery. The appeal of an independent journey is to an exotic location is tempting. It really is. I'll just do my red shirt this year and go to India and kind of see who I am as a person. You know what I don't understand about that? If you don't know the culture or speak the language or anything, how the f are you gonna find yourself there?
You have a guide you pay.
Oh, the guide you pay, that's right. When you get there, he's like, everybody in India speaks English? Oh my god, Louis Vuitton store in India? That's POG!
Can I take a gap year?
No, you can't take a gap year, dude.
But my spiritual...
I don't care. There's work to be done here, my friend. There are so many programs offering just that. Pay to tour, volunteer to experience. Even during COVID, these programs were advertised as ways to get away from the disease. Get the hell away from COVID and just go to India. It's perfectly fine there. The spiritual journey of backpacking. The amount of f***ing people. I just backpacked across Europe. We backpacked across Asia. It was crazy. Sure, many kids go to summer journey, backpacking across Europe and staying in hostels. But India? Unaccustomed to the culture, the food, and the language, they're encouraged to confidently set food into dangerous areas to experience life. This moral and spiritual enlightenment is sold to them from scammers and actors pitching products to kids who never had to struggle to define them. So we do have our Trustafarians, right? We have our voluntourisms, right? But we also have affluenzas. The names just get better. It's insane. Which affluenza is a social condition. Individuals desire to be wealthier or more successful than others. The inability of an individual to appropriately understand consequences due to social status or economic privilege. Are you staying along with me, sweetie? Are you keeping up? I hope so. Affluenza is a pseudo-scientific term that refers to the unhealthy psychological and social effects of wealth. Term popularized in 2013 by Ethan Couch, who is the affluenza kid, who at the age of 16 killed 4 people during a DUI. Sentenced to 10 years probation and therapy in 2013, Couch's defense argued that he lacked a moral compass and didn't know right from wrong because of his wealthy family and thus needed therapy, not prison. This is me on that cliff in the Creed song, One Last Breath, and that's just me fucking, this is me jumping off. Because what is that, dude? I'm jumping off. Because what is, that's me. Anytime I do this now, you know I'm done with it. fucking tired. And he was spotted drinking at a party in 2015 and found in violation of probation. His mother hid him in Mexico for a time until he returned and was sentenced to 2 years in prison. Returned to prison in 2020 for failing a drug test for THC, which he argued came from CBD oil. The year prior to killing 4 individuals, he was caught under the influence with a naked, unconscious 14-year-old girl and was given 12 hours of community service and probation. Okay, done with it, Nick. Moving on from that, in 2010, an epidemic of rich kids roaming the streets of Bangkok unchecked came to light when Oracord, a 17-year-old woman, rear-ended another vehicle while texting, killing 9 of the 14 passengers, of whom 5 were seriously injured. A texting incident?
14 people in one car.
14 people in one car. It's a goddamn clown car, dude. Immediately after the wreck, she stood next to her wrecked car and victims laying out in the streets to finish texting her friends. Was set to receive a 3-year sentence of driving recklessly without a license, but lawyers pleaded and won for probation and community service, 138 hours of which took her 6 years to complete. God damn, dude. Her family lawyers have been successful at preventing any of the victims of the families from suing. Which then there's also another hit-and-run instance where we killed an officer, was verified under the influence, parents posted bail, and lawyers kept the legal system at bay until the son fled the country. He currently lives a lavish lifestyle in London, unaffected by his crimes. The family is worth $20 billion, paid off the victim's family with about $83,000. How generous. And currently the police chief is indicted for aiding him at his escape. 3 years ago, all of the charges were dropped. That's that Red Bull, buddy. It gives you wings. That's what they say. It gives you wings to fly to whatever country you need to go. And then we have Renee Bach. And Bach, who is not a doctor, but a homeschooled missionary, went to Uganda at the age of 19 to set up a missionary health facility at her house called Serving His Children. She felt compelled by God to go to Africa to help the needy. She, quote, believed it was Jesus' will for her to treat malnourished children. The Serving His Children was operated from 2010 to 2015. Many people came to have your children be helped, right? A lot of kids died under her care. Once again, not a doctor. Not a doctor at all, but a missionary. The gardener that worked on the property said she dressed in a clinical lab coat, often wore a stethoscope around her neck, and could be seen medicating children. Okay, just want to reiterate. Not a doctor. Farthest thing from the doctor. A missionary. Okay? Person based in faith. Not in science. Not a doctor. Just want to put that out there. Apparently, an American nurse who volunteered there said Bach felt, quote, God would tell her what to do for the children that she saw. Oh, God, Nick. She only worked with Bach for 4 months. A driver in Uganda claims that he would drive 7 to 10 bodies a week back to their villages, just from the premise alone. This went on for 8 years, which if you speculate, it's a little over 500 people a year. So times that by 8, you got 3,500 dead Ugandans because a missionary wanted to play doctor. Like, you don't think that after every dead body, she was just like, his words are muffled. Well, I can't understand. I think there might be some kind of weird interference here. In 2019, rumors circled and some of Bach's blog posts surfaced proving she was treating kids without a license and without expertise. Many people became appalled when they found out that the young white women playing doctor in Uganda were actually killing hundreds of people. When changes were brought against her, Bach claimed the first-person perspective she used in her blog posts were a character and not her, and that she had a Ugandan medical team by her side at all times when she worked, okay? The person who is named Bach in the story, that's a character. It's not a first-person interaction. My blog, which is usually meant to be like basically a public diary, it's a short story, okay? That's like based on real stuff. Bach eventually settled a Ugandan civil suit in 2020 regarding the deaths of 2 children. So what did we learn from all this? Where did we end up after this whole thing? Sure, we started with Shannon Blake. Shannon Blake. If they could all just be like Shannon Blake, we'd be okay. The world would be healed. She drank the ayahuasca in Peru. What I wouldn't give. Unsuspecting wealthy tourists, unaccustomed to consequences or other lifestyles in their travels, discover quite often the risk of traveling to other countries. In 4 districts in India over the past 12 years, over 245 tourists have died. They're dead. They're gone. Okay? We're finding that these people don't know what they're doing. They're getting, robbed, murdered, worst. You know what I mean? All over the place. And it's all because they're just rich little aliens that walk into the world who are just like, what is this place? I feel good now. I'm going to give you a cookie. Yay! And then they go stay in their private jet and fly away. And that's what it is, right? But there's also other cases too, which are passport bros. The passport bros even are people of Western privileges who go and they look for Asian wives because they're supposedly more submissive. Sure. I don't know. I'm not I don't know the reasoning, but maybe we'll save that for another day. All I know is this. Trustafarian culture is tricky. When you're coming from a place of extreme wealth and you're trying to give back, sometimes it's worth giving back in local ways. Sometimes it's giving back in selfless ways. Instead of going there parading around for TikToks and Instagram photos, maybe sometimes it's worth just looking in on yourself and saying, how do I want to help the world, and trying to actively, proactively do that. But money will corrupt any man or woman. When money's in the picture, I just don't think anything truly ever good can come out of it. Maybe at times, but I don't know. These Trustafarians and these volaturisms and influenzas, I don't know, man. Just a bunch of bad eggs, if you ask me. But that's our video today. I hope you enjoyed it. That's all for this week, guys. See ya.
I look back to this one part of the river, and it just kept flowing so steady, and it reminded me, like, to just go at my own pace.
Learn that from the river. I love that.
Yeah,
yeah,
just
that's
watching
beautiful.
it, no matter what anybody's doing, it doesn't stop, and it's happy and peaceful.